Hi guys, Hamster here. I have a new product I want to share with you guys from Surefire. This is the Surefire Fury, also known as the P2X Fury. This is a new flashlight for 2012 from Surefire. And this is a new 500 lumen output handheld flashlight. Recently had a chance to acquire this flashlight, had it for a couple weeks, had a chance to try it out, and I wanted to share it with you guys in case you guys heard about it and were interested in the new Fury 500 lumen output. Huge increase in the Surefire line. Till recently, the most powerful light you can get in their handheld light, I believe, was a 200 lumen, and I gotta say, this is a big jump for Surefire coming up into more powerful light. About the light itself, it's an all aluminum body. It's hard anodized. It uses a tail cap interface, click on, click off, momentary. It's 2 powers, and I think that's what's the best thing about this light is it has 2 modes. It has a 15 lumen mode and a 500 lumen mode. And I know a lot of you guys might think that 1500 or that 15 lumen doesn't sound like a lot, doesn't sound like it'd be very useful. I gotta say, this is where this flashlight I think really shines, is in the 15 lumen range. It's a perfect light for to read, write, do a lot of things at night. It's 90% of the time that 15 lumen is perfect. Perfect general illumination to see what you need to do, to go out and do a task. The 15 lumen is fantastic. You don't need the 500. The 500 could practically blind you if you're trying to do something up close. And the 500 run time's obviously going to be considerably shorter. At 15 lumens, it runs for advertised 46 hours. I think that's where this really shines. And at full power at 500 lumens, you get an hour and a half of run time. To me, this is not really a weapon light. Surefire says it is not weapon rated. The batteries are not buffered. There is only 1 spring, and the batteries sit right against the circuit board. Surefire says on the packaging, let's see if you can see it right here, real small, not suitable for weapon applications. So if you're looking for a weapon light, Surefire doesn't recommend it. Would it work? I don't know. I would love to hear some comments if anybody's mounted one of these on, what it's on, and how much recoil is, what the round count, what it's doing. Since it's a dual mode light, I really don't look at it as a tactical light. This is, to me, is my new bedstand light. This is a light that sits on my bedstand, on my nightstand, for anything that happens at night. I has the 15 lumen for general stuff, and for the bump in the night, I got the 500 lumen. So if there's a windstorm, power's out, I got 15 lumen. I could use this flashlight easily for 3-4 hours a night, for a week to 10 days. I think that's where this light really comes in handy. In an emergency, it's ready to go. I could use it several hours a night for over a week. It runs on 2 of the 123 lithium batteries, which are fantastic, a lot of capabilities, good shelf life. On the tail cap, it uses the click on, click off. It has momentary on, momentary off, so you can see that. So you can just hold it on, or you can click it on. If you click it fast, within like 1 second, you can go low. There you go, high, not clicking it fast enough. So you can click it on, click it again, click it to high. So I don't think for a tactical application it's really that great, because it comes on low every time, and then you got to switch it to high. It is a little bit longer. One of the flashlights I was comparing it to is my my G2 Tactical here, which is a 200 lumen light. The bezel diameter on this is about 1.25 inches. That's pretty much typical on all the Surefire 200 lumen lights. This bezel got a slightly bit bigger, and it's like a 1.37 inch diameter. So it got slightly bigger. I don't know if you can see that, but the LED in it is massive. So the LED is probably about 3 times the size. Bezel diameter got just slightly bigger, and the LED is recessed slightly deeper into the bezel. But it's still using a textured reflector, the same as their other 200 lumens. So it's still running a textured reflector. It's just running a polycarbonate lens. It doesn't really have a super great lens, just a standard polycarbonate lens. I would love to see this light with a smooth reflector. How is it on power? It's like I said, on 15 lumens it's fantastic. On 500 it is like a small handheld searchlight. It throws off a tremendous amount of light. I mean, comparing it to the 200 lumen, to the naked eye, it looks at least, maybe more, at twice as bright. It just you take your 200 light, which is a fantastic light and extremely powerful, until you throw it up against 500, and it's like, this looks outdated in the power. The 500 lumen is just incredibly bright. The only drawback on it is the range. It still doesn't have a lot of throw. This is, I would still say, would be a close to medium range on the throw, because it's still using a texture reflector with just a standard lens, but it throws off a huge beam, and it's effective, I think, out to about 100 yards, so about 300 feet. After that, it just really is not doing that much. But inside of that, at 50 yards, 75 yards, incredible amount of light, extremely powerful. But for a weapon light, it's not that great, because it comes on low, you got to go to high. I was comparing it to my M600C Scout weapon light, which is a 200 lumen light, and I was comparing it on throw and distance, and this is only 200 lumen and this is 500. The 500 is barely brighter at 100 yards than this light. Why? This light has a smooth reflector with their TIR lens system, which is more focused. This has a much more focused, precise beam. Still plenty of spill, and this light's rated for close to medium work, and I would say this one is also still rated for close to medium work. So in range, doesn't get any farther, reach out any farther really than the Scout series light. But at 500 lumens is incredibly bright at medium ranges. It's amazing how bright this is. It's like a handheld searchlight. But I think the 15 lumen would be much more practical, and you would use that much more than you would on the 500. It's kind of nice. It's like having 2 flashlights in one. I really think that if this was a 500 only light, I wouldn't be that happy with it. It wouldn't be that practical. The runtime would be too short. It would be too bright for most tasks. But the fact that it has the 15 lumen makes where this thing shines. Like I said, it's all aluminum, hard anodized. It's got the click tail cap, which I really like this. You can still turn the tail cap and lock it out, so you don't have any accidental activation, which is nice. But you don't have to turn the tail cap permanently on. It uses just the click mode. And I wish I could show you here how bright that is. I can't really do it justice on the camera. There's the 200 lumen beam, and there's the 500 lumen beam. Let's see. But there's 200, 500. It's amazing how much light this throws off. I would love to see Surefire put a smooth reflector in there and their TIR lens on this thing. I think that would be an incredible light if they would just do those 2 things and keep this light exactly the way it is. Just give me the option of the other focused lens with the smooth reflector. I think you could get much more throw out of this. It's a shame that this is 500 lumens and still max effective range I think is 100 yards. So 300 feet, is about it, because the beam is so big and throws off so much light. But up close, it's incredibly powerful, 500 lumens. But you'll be able to use it all the time on 15 lumen. It won't be like a tactical light that just sits because it's too bright. This could be a great everyday light you have sitting around home. The power goes out, you got to go outside, you got to fix it in the dark. The 15 lumen is actually very, very functional. So don't be deceived by the 15 rating, that, oh wow, that's not bright enough to do anything. It's actually, I think, ideal. So that's the Surefire Fury, also known as the P2X. That's their new 500 lumen handheld searchlight, I guess what you would call it. Pretty amazing little light. I'd like to see a few changes and improvements, and I think this could be a much better light. But this is a handheld light. This is not a weapons light, not designed to be mounted on a weapon. It did pick up about a 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch in length over the previous 200 lumen lights. So just slightly longer, just slightly bigger in the bezel diameter. Like I said, this was 1.25 inches. This is like 1.3. So the reflector only got slightly larger. Still running that orange peel texture on the reflector. Like I said, I'd love to see this in a smooth reflector with a different lens. I think this light would be phenomenal. But this is a good light. It's retailing for about $155. Still kind of pricey, but it does have 2 modes, and I think that's what makes this light effective. I think you'll find the 15 lumen to be extremely effective and versatile flashlight, and have the option to go to 500 when you need it. It's just amazing on 500. So the Surefire Fury 500. Thanks for watching.